All right, everybody, we got a special video today. I've been waiting for this one for days, staring out the window for the Amazon driver to pull up and drop off this package. And today it is the FiFine K669D. It's heavier than a brick. I'm very curious about the build quality. Why am I so curious about the build quality? See right there? That's a damaged box. That is because I was so excited about getting this microphone that when it was time to pick up my daughter, my package, as I thought, hadn't arrived yet. So I opened up the door, tried to run down the steps to my vehicle, and in doing so, I stepped and crushed the box because it had been delivered. It was on my step, and I came down on that thing, all 185 pounds of me, coming down on the weakest point of the box on the corner. I didn't step on top of it where there's good padding. That's what I did to this box right here. And I freaked out. For those of you who have a FiFine microphone or like FiFine microphones, I'm one of them. I'm a huge fan of FiFine microphones. They need TLC. You got to make sure they last because, again, they're not made out of metal. I just stepped on it, crushed it, twisted it. I pulverized it, and I didn't even get a chance to test it. I first noticed this on a video by Obscure Mics. Love that channel. If you guys haven't heard of it, check it out, subscribe to it. This guy is just, I wish I could download his brain into mine. So for me, it got my interest. FiFine audio quality with the Mayano build quality, maybe better. Had to check it out. And then of course, I'm gonna test it out by running out my door, stomping on it, squishing it, crushing the box, mutilating the box. I had to sit there and finagle and origami this box back into something presentable just for this video, but I destroyed it. I pulverized it, and I'm nervous. We're gonna open this box up, and I am praying that I haven't bent the cage, I haven't cracked anything, and I hope it looks good. So here we go. I'm gonna open this up. We're gonna find out firsthand just how good this build quality is because I put it through the actual real life abuse test. Let's see what happens. Here, okay, here we go. I'm nervous. Ooh. All right, so we got our page right here. We've got some documentation. Move that out of the way. It's got some weight to it. All right, I'm looking. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Oh my gosh, it survived. Not only did it survive, I don't even see a scratch or a scuff mark. I mean, look at that. I hit this thing and I stepped on it like right on the crown of the cage, and as I'm looking, I know I did because I can see pieces of foam that have been crammed in here from the packaging that is supposed to be protecting it from the abuse that I put it through. I can see like a ring of foam that is crammed in there. Yeah, wow. There is no damage to this thing whatsoever. Let me check. Like, you've got these pillars and they're not even bent. Wow, I didn't even bend that. Oh my gosh, this is solid. Like, I'm squeezing this thing and I can't even get it to move. This is great. Wow, it withstood it. It took the punch, man. You want to talk about build quality? Dude, whatever you want to rate build quality, you're like, okay, build quality is 10 out of 10 because it just looks like it's built to last. Well, when you do something you should never do to a microphone and it comes like it's been perfectly handled and it's right off the assembly line, no human has ever touched it, that is twice as good as you had hoped it would be. I'm just gonna say right off the bat, if I don't rate this thing a 20 out of 10 by the end of this video, just unsubscribe from my channel because that just doesn't do it justice. Boy, did I dodge a bullet. Thank you, FiFine, because if this thing was built like the AM8 or the FiFine K689D, excellent microphones, excellent sound quality. But again, they're plastic. If I had stepped on those boxes, I'd have broke it. I'd have cracked it. I'd have done something to it. Pristine. Man. The eyeball test, I like sleek and elegant. I like all black. I like the matted finish that's on it. Ooh, man, if I didn't see the name FiFine on this thing, I would think that this is like Shure or Rode Quality Build or Audio Technica. Just really tough, premium microphone. And then you lift your finger up and it says FiFine. And FiFine is a budget line. So I feel like in my hand, this is a premium microphone, premium build, premium durability. Let's check out the sound. I'm curious. I'm excited. All right. So right now you're listening to me on the LCT240 Pro, my favorite microphone. And again, I just want to see how good this sounds compared to my favorite microphone of all time, the LCT240 Pro. It's $150 for the microphone. Let's go ahead and swap it over to the FiFine K669D and see how it sounds at $36. Let's check it out. Okay, so now I have it hooked up to the Rode PodTrack P8. This is what it sounds like, and I think for $36, it's better than what I would expect for this price point. I would not expect this good of a sound for a $36 microphone. I think it kind of goes right there with the Behringer Ultra Voice XM8500. Right now, I don't want to form any kind of like final judgment answers on this, but out of the box, I would rate this on a scale of a 10, a strong 6 to a low 7 default settings. But again, you're saying, well, if you're that excited about a microphone, why so low? Well, to me, a $36 microphone, I would expect a 5 to be good. Like that's my level of expectation for a $30 microphone, is it to have a level of a 5. So for it to be a 7, that's well above its punching class for audio. So I'm curious to hear, this is what it sounds like right out of the box in its default setting. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and start turning on some processing and just see how well this sounds. So let me go ahead and turn on my compression and my de-esser. All right, now it's on. Testing 1, 2, 3. Wow, there's a significant bump there in presence. And I think just listening to it right out of the box and in this setting, I think this thing sits firmly and strongly in the mids to me. I'm no sound engineer. Please don't take it as gospel. I'm just saying, to me, microphones that really have strengths in the lows or the highs and the mids are where they kind of leapfrog or dance around that area. I think for me, in my ears, in these headphones, I feel like these are saying we're going to plant our flag in the mids, and we're not going to go too far into the lows or the highs, so to speak. And I feel like I might be able to get a mix easier with this that is more pleasing to people who, because let's just face it, everybody has a preference as far as sound quality. Some people like that darker tone, those deeper tones, that broadcasty sound of the SM7B and the Blue Sona. Some people like that higher end sound. Man, I don't know. As I'm listening to this, I really like it. And again, I don't have any EQ turned on. This is just my compression at about 3-to-1 compression, and my de-esser turned on, my low cut filter, and my limiter is turned on, and my preamp is at 50%. It's at its default setting. I didn't have to boost it up or down to get to these levels, and they're dancing comfortably right. I mean, they're perfect to me where I like it. This is what I strive to get at in my mix. So I'm really enjoying the sound of this FiFine, and I just don't understand how you can do this build quality and this sound and be at $36 and still make a profit as a company. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the EQ on and see what we can do with it as far as adding some low end or some high end to this. Okay, so now I've turned my EQ on, but it's at its default settings, and I still feel like there's a little more clarity that just came into this microphone just by turning the EQ on without even adjusting it yet. All right, so this is with me adding a little bit of high into it for this type of sound, which I think is like that Rode Pod mic sound where it's crisp and clear on the high end and just a dab of low end mixed in there. And this is what it sounds like. Peter Piper packed a peck of pickled peppers, and he loves pineapple on his pizza, especially when he moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to deliver those pineapple pizzas. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go the other direction for those who like that muddier, broadcasty sound of the SM7B. You're trying to get there. This is not going to get there, but if you're trying to go in that realm with this microphone, let's go ahead and go in that direction and see how it sounds. So now I've added some low end, maybe 2 dB of low end. I've taken that high back out, and this is what it sounds like. It's not for me. I think this is a little too dark, a little too muddy. So I think, honestly, when I go right back to its default settings, I think it's in its happy place. For some reason, you turn the EQ on without really mixing anything, and I feel like it's in its happy medium. I feel like it's a very personal connection, like you're in the room with them. I'm going to add a little bit high back in. All right, testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I've added 2 dB of high back in there. And for me personally, for my ears, this is the sound I think I would go for with this microphone. It's a little more vibrant, it's a little more electric, it's a little more lively. And that's just listening to this. I'm curious to see what it's going to sound like in post. I don't know. I'm impressed. I am really impressed. All right, I'm going to take a listen to this, and I'll be right back with my final thoughts. All right, my final thoughts regarding the FiFine K669D. This is actually the second time I've had to record my final thoughts because I just kept pumping information. I was so excited about this, and I looked over it. I was at 20 minutes. Like, that's not going to fly. We got to wrap this up. I'm going to do this again, and we're going to tighten this up a little bit. So my pros and cons regarding this microphone. Number one, it's just great audio. It's very mixable. As soon as you turn it on, if you have no EQ skills, the default settings are very pleasant to the ears. They're vibrant. They're lively, and it just gives it energy to your voice, and I like that. And I found that it was very mixable. I think this microphone strength is that it sits in the mids. There are microphones out there that kind of scoop out the mids and kind of try to live in the high end or live in the low end. I think examples of that are the Rode Pod mic. That microphone lives, it's a very popular microphone. It lives vibrantly in those highs and mids and high mids. And if you want low end, you have to add that into it. I think the Behringer XM8500 is another famous, well-known microphone for its audio. Again, it lives in those highs and high mids. You want lows, you have to add that in there. The SM7B is a darker, deeper, fuller sound. The Shure MV7, I think, balances out a little bit more. It gives you a little bit more of that high end. It's not as deep and as broadcastier of a sound as the Shure SM7B, but I think it's spoken word microphone for podcasters, and I think it nails it. It's very clean, it's very crisp, and I think it has an equal balance of high, mids, and lows. But for me, I think the audio with this is it sits comfortably in the mids, and then you can add in some low if you want it. There's just enough in there. To me, this is the kind of low that I would mix into the Behringer XM8500. This is the kind of low right out of the box that I would mix into the Rode Pod mic. It's already built into it, so I like that. If you want a little more high end, a little more vibrancy, a little more energy, you can add that in there easily. So it's very mixable. Not only does it have a great sound, but it's a small footprint. It's not big and obtrusive like the Shure MV7. So like when I'm trying to use this and it's in front of my face or off to the side, it takes up a good chunk of the frame. Look how close I'm able to get this to my face, to my mouth as I'm speaking to you, and it doesn't take up a lot of the frame like the Shure MV7 does. It tucks neatly in between, like just above your shoulder line and your cheek, and it's just right in there. And I love the way it looks as I'm looking on my monitor over here. Man, it just has a very unique look to it. Small footprint that is unique, and it still has that studio look. Another pro that comes along with it, if you already have a boom arm that you like and it doesn't play well with lighter microphones, it's going to sit just fine on that. And if you have a lighter boom arm and you're not ready to invest in a heavier duty boom arm that can handle heavier microphones, it'll do just fine on those cheaper $30 boom arms that are out there. So you don't have to add to your purchase by getting a boom arm to fit this. It sits perfectly in between, and I absolutely love that. Small footprint, heavy build, but just the right weight for any boom arm that is out there. I have a hard time trying to express this in like 30 seconds. The build quality is a third pro. Just look at this box. This is what it looked like when I opened it. I landed on it, not just with 185 pounds when it was on my doorstep, but I had forward momentum. Like I hit it like a Mack truck and landed on it and twisted on it. And I just pulverized the box, and I just thought, oh my gosh, I ruined it because it was right where the end address of the mic would be. I've already dented it, and I opened it up, and it looked like no human had ever touched it right off the assembly line. So not only is it good build quality, but it performed twice as good as I would hope it would, because you're not going to put your microphones down and then stand on it with all your weight on one foot and then twist as you're doing it. And that's what I did, and it's immaculate. No damage, zero whatsoever. I'll never do anything like that to this microphone again. Just being in a backpack, dropping it, moving it around, throwing it around. It's never going to receive the blow that I just inflicted upon it on my doorstep. So build quality, twice as good as you would hoped it would be for not just a $36 microphone, for any microphone. Absolutely love it. So build quality out of this world. It's his number one strength. Number 4 pro, unbelievable price tag for what it comes with, and then you can do even more with it when you start to EQ it and mix it. And right now my EQ is turned on, but I haven't adjusted anything. I just activated it, and this is what it sounds like. So just amazing price tag. And just to kind of give you an idea how amazing this microphone is for its price tag, we have the Shure MV7 right here, and this is a $250 microphone, and I have this set to the exact same settings as this. I have the EQ turned on for both, but I have not added any highs or lows in it. It's sitting right in the middle in its default settings, but EQ is activated, and the compression and the de-esser is turned on at the exact same point on both. So this is what the FiFine K669 sounded like, and you've already heard it compared to when I opened this video with the LC2240 Pro, my favorite microphone as far as vocals and spoken word. Now let's go ahead and listen to the Shure MV7. Okay, now you are on the Shure MV7, the exact same settings as the FiFine, except I had to boost the preamp in this in order to get my levels where they need to be. And again, this is a $250 sound. $36.99, and I think this is a fuller sound, but the MV7, to be honest, I think is a cleaner sound. But I like how the FiFine K669D has more low end and more of a broadcasty sound than the MV7 to me. But again, it's not for everybody. Some people like that more vibrant, lighter sound. I actually like the sound of this. I like them both for the same reasons, though. I like the cleaner sound of the MV7 that it gives, but I like the fuller sound. So again, it's just a different sound that I like equally as much. And the fact that I like them both just as much, but for different reasons, but I have to pay $230 more for this sound than I do this, that's just crazy, because again, I'm including the pop filter in that price. Every now and then a plosive might pop in there. I just went through my inventory here of pop filters I had in my studio, and so this is the SM7B pop filter. It sits on there just fine. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Knocks down the plosives really well. This pop filter in particular maintains that low profile, so it still sits comfortably just above your shoulder and off to your cheek, off to the side, and it's not overwhelming. So I really do like this one the most out of all the pop filters. Now this is the WS2 pop filter. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. This is the WS2 Rode replacement pop filter. I'm going to include a link down below for all of these pop filters. Now this guy's a little bit different. I just wanted to try it. This is the Dead Cat filter that came with my Deity V-Mic D4 shotgun microphone. It's the Dead Cat filter, and it fits right on this. So again, this is another mic where you could buy a budget shotgun mic to go with your camera when you're vlogging, and then you can use that same pop filter on this one, the Deity V-Mic D4 pop filter, Dead Cat, on the FiFine K669D. If I can even just speak English after this video, it will be a miracle. All right, so there you go. I don't think you're going to get a better sound for $36. So if you're on a budget, to me, the lowest price with the greatest sound, I think this thing hits it perfectly. So honestly, I didn't want to give it unicorn status because I feel even me lately, these microphones are getting so good at these budget prices, you immediately want to label it a unicorn, and then something else comes out that does it even better, does it even better, does something even better. So I'm not going to just keep calling each microphone a unicorn. Like, somebody's got to be the unicorn, right? So I'm not going to say I have 5 unicorns out there. To me, this now takes the mantle as the unicorn microphone. The Behringer XM8500 still will maintain that unicorn status to me just because it's a handheld. This is a studio mic. So they are different enough. I think it nudged my Mayano PD100 as the unicorn. It's $44, I think it is on Amazon right now. This is $36. So the price to me is what nudges this out of that unicorn spot. They both have a great sound, different sound, but both great. They both have great build quality, but this is cheaper. So again, this nudges it out of that unicorn spot for XLR microphones for a studio mic. I would recommend it definitely for beginners. It's just going to give you so much more than what you're paying for. I would also recommend this for gear review techies out there. Man, when you're doing gear reviews for $250 microphones, $300 microphones, it's easy for people to watch that and say, well, the only way I'm going to get great audio and look like I belong on YouTube or any kind of podcast is to spend $300 on a microphone. I would always have this in your lineup, in your arsenal, to compare it to say, hey, you know, this is a great microphone for $250, but again, if you don't have a budget, This is something else. Like, it may be out of reach for a lot of people. Like, to me, the Shure SM7B is out of reach for me. Just don't want to spend $400 on a microphone. I just don't. It's great. It's wonderful. It's amazing. It does everything it does. It's absolutely worth every penny that they charge you for. I just don't want to hand over those pennies, that many pennies for audio, when there's so many other options out there for so much less. I would recommend it to people trying to start a podcast. $36.99 per person is a lot better than $250 times 4 or $400 times 4. $36 times 4. It is built like a tank, and it sounds great. The K699D. Absolutely love this microphone. Go get yourself one. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and the notification bell so you guys are notified when future content comes out. And so until the next time, thank you for enjoying this channel. And I already said it. Until the next time, peace out. Oh yeah, I forgot the con. Okay, that covers the cons. Peace out.